Yeah, hey Gavin.
Hey Ben, how are you?
Good, sorry about being late.
That's okay, no problem.
So, let me get connected here.
Okay.
I'd rather drive if you don't mind. And
No,
I
that's
can
fine.
give you keyboard and mouse, but
Nope,
uh
you can drive. I'll guide you. We can create one of the users that you need.
right,
We're going to connect to Director, of course, and then I'll also get you connected to the mobility
yeah,
router
right.
because we'll
I
do
know
a
how to
little bit on each.
I know how to get to both.
Okay.
Oh shit. Hold on just a sec. I think I just got dumped out of hold on.
Okay, no problem. You know what, Ben, for the mobility router, it's 10.10.1.11. I see that it didn't load the mobility router page there.
Sorry, Gavin.
That's okay.
All right, so here we're in. I thought 10. Do I have to go to slash something at 10.1.1.11 to get into the?
It's actually 10.10.1.11 slash admin, and that'll get you into the mobility router.
Yeah, I remember Chris went over this with me.
Yep.
Forgot that. Hello.
It should get you connected. I don't think it has to be HTTPS, but let me check. Let's see. I'm going to connect to Bennett real quick myself and just make sure that doesn't have to be
Yeah, sure.
Double check that. Did Chris give you a login to mobility too?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. I saw one for CISS Limited was created. I wasn't sure if you knew the password, so I actually reset it to Bennett, but we can change that again for you if
That's
Chris
okay.
had already given you a password.
I think, yeah, we should. I'll probably make it the same, CISS 789, which is what
your director password is? Okay.
Right.
I can show you where to do that too. Let me just verify the mobility login.
It's not slash mobility or
something? Try it with HTTPS. That's what I have when I was connected to it earlier. HTTPS 10.10.1.11/admin. If that still gives you an error, I guess we should try pinging it to make sure that we... Are you, VPN'd into Bennett right now?
I'm actually go to assisted into their server, which is right there at Infinity.
See if you get a response back from it. Yeah, you are. I'm not quite sure why the web interface is giving you headaches.
Hold on. Let me check my email here.
10.10.1.11. Yeah. It's recognizing it as ShoreTel.
Yeah, change the icon on the URL.
Yeah, I see it changed the icon on there. Could we try maybe opening it in Chrome instead? Maybe it's something in IE that's not letting the page open.
Ugh. I hope it's not that, because I find the fact that I have to use Internet Explorer for Director to be annoying. 10.10.1.11/admin.
It looks like it's going to be it looks like it's not going to connect either through Chrome. So you're just on a workstation. Your go-to meeting to a workstation there?
Basically RDP'd into their server.
Gotcha. You don't have the ability to. That's not the ShoreTel server, though, correct?
No, it's just a Windows server. It's their domain controller at that site.
Gotcha, and then you're just opening a browser off of there.
Right.
I don't know why it's not opening. I'm connected to it right now, but I'm via LogMeIn connected to the actual ShoreTel server. It shouldn't matter though. You should be able to open this page locally the same way you open Director. I just don't know why it's not working for you on these two browsers.
Nothing with this, Gavin, has been easy. Nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just looking through my emails, so. See if I had anything from Chris or whatever. Not really. Huh. So what do you think? You want me to go to a different server, or?
Are you able to remote desktop to the ShoreTel server, and we can just log you in from there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I can, yeah. So you want me to go to 10.10.1.11?
I think it's 10.10.1. No, not 1.11. I want you to actually go on the ShoreTel window server, which is
should be 20.
20. Yep. 10.10.1.20. Yep.
Will my account work?
Let's find out. I'm not sure what all administrators were built onto there.
Nope.
Yep. All right. So let's
wait
go
a
back
minute. Let me just make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, how do I do? Because it's trying to send the domain into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like
How do you? That looks like it removed the domain information. It looks like if you do // it removes the domain.
// Well, you have keyboard and mouse, so go ahead.
Okay. Oops.
You should have keyboard and mouse.
No, my mouse was actually on another screen, so let me see.
Yeah.
So it's not, the server's not connected on the domain?
Server's not, what do you mean?
Is the ShoreTel server not actually on the Bennett domain?
I have no idea when it was installed. If I don't remember adding it to the domain.
Let me check real quick. Let me open up from my LogMeIn console the system info. Let's see if it's a work group or if it's on the domain. Nope. Okay.
Can we add it to the domain?
Yeah, I mean, eventually we could, sure.
I mean, is there any reason not to make it Active Directory integrated? It would make logging in for all the communicator users infinitely easier.
We could actually, yes, it would. So yeah, I mean, we could add it to the domain.
I don't know why they didn't. I wasn't really part of the initial setup here, so.
Okay, so now we're actually on the ShoreTel server, and I'll let you start you can close out the C drive info there, or do I still have control?
No, I can get it back. But
okay.
You were You want to do this?
Yeah, we can do it now.
I don't think I need
That doesn't
local.
require a reboot, does it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we might get away with.
They would notice if we rebooted it now, they'd notice like the work groups, the auto attendance, and the client would be unavailable for a couple minutes while it would restart.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I know it's going to ask us to reboot. I don't think it's a requirement. You can reboot later. So does that mean? I mean, it should mean that I can log in to this with regular.
Yeah, we'll need you to. If this wipes out our administrator account from being able to log into it, we'll need you to add us into, add a administrator account then for us.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'll just go into the groups now and check it.
Okay.
Changing the primary DNS name to blank.
Name will remain Bennett JO. I thought that's what you were trying to put it to anyway. It was Bennett JOR.
Well, this is the DNS name.
Oh, it's probably not. The IP address probably isn't resolvable on DNS right now. There's probably no, ShoreTel HQ DNS entry. I wouldn't think.
Huh. All right. Okay. So let's just go. Where's my stuff? Active Directory. Oh, I need to do that from a different server. Hold on. Which I closed. Did I close it or didn't I close it? Or did I just already peed, didn't I? Yeah, here we are.
I think so. Yeah, you did.
Oh, man. Andy's got this so buggered up. Administrator group. So remind me, is it ShoreTel or what's your username?
Actually, it's just administrator.
Oh, it's on that box.
Yeah, it was just the administrator account on the server. So if you wanted to create a new user for us, like a Comstar admin account, you certainly could.
Just trying to think the easiest thing to do is here. Let's go back. So we're logged in as administrator here, right?
Correct.
Where'd it go? There it is. I think you're still good.
Okay. I can always test it after whenever you end up rebooting it. You can just let me know, and I can test it after that.
Yeah, I think you're still good, Gavin. So
okay.
Let's just leave it. Okay, so where the heck am I now? Okay. So,
So if we want to create a new mobility user, for instance, on last Thursday, you had told me, we already created these folks here, Alex, you're created, Charlie Do is created. We have our test account with Chris, Scott Flaherty's created. I created Tracy Waters. There was still Mikeisha Guider and Joseph McNally that you had wanted to create it, and then the folks that you emailed me about today.
right.
So we could use Mikeisha as an example for us. So what we're going to do is start in ShoreTel Director first. So if you want to mosey over to Director, yep, and to the users, and hopefully Mikeisha is already a user in here.
Spell that with an L.
It's Mykesha. Yep, cool. All right, so what you need to do in Director is scroll down maybe like half the page. Okay, do you see where it shows mobility options down there towards the bottom?
Right.
You're going to check both of those. As long as you know that extension that's choosing isn't interfering with your DID ranges or something that you don't want it to be that extension, you can leave it as the extension it populates. And I don't think you have any number. What's that?
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. There's no way to use their current extension somehow?
Well, see, when we create a mobility user, so their extension is still going to be what their extension is. This is basically creating a SIP extension. That's what mobility really is a SIP extension. So people aren't going to call this 8896. Nobody's ever going to dial it. If they try to dial it, they're going to get an error. If they want to reach Mikeisha, they're still going to dial her regular extension that they know of. So this extension that's being created is just a SIP extension that only the system uses to tie Director to the mobility router.
So how do I know where it grabbed this number, and how would I know that?
Because it grabs that number based on the last time somebody had created any sort of extension number in the system. It starts off where that was left off at. So at some point, somebody had created an 8800 something, and then so that's where the system's starting at, is where the last one was left off at.
So this doesn't show the extension, huh?
No.
Okay. So
I can show you where you can verify that, where you can check that extension mobility router, but like these 8800 number extensions, are those interfering with anything that you're aware of that it can't be that number?
If we go back, I mean, here, let me just save this quick. Is that all we really need to change in here?
The last thing, there's one more. If you scroll all the way down, the SIP password, there is no default SIP password. So that has, the little dots there like there's a password, but there's not. So it just has to be 6 digits long. So I just make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just for simplicity's sake.
Well, we've been using Bennett, right? Or
well, it's got to be numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you can scroll up and save it. And that's all you need to do within the user.
Okay. So hold on just a sec here.
Uh-huh.
So if I go over to here
and
I look at mine, I don't have a physical phone over there. So I made mine a Jaguar extension.
Okay.
Intending for people to call me at that extension.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And they would call you. Can I grab control real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So they'll still call you at 5744, which is what you had created, but The SIP extension that gets created for your mobility was
Okay.
5745. I don't know if that will interfere with any of your other numbers that you'll need that back or not, but
I doubt it.
that's
That's a
what
pretty
got
stable
created
place,
with it. Okay.
at this point.
And it can always be changed in the future. I mean, it's not hard coded. It can just be adjusted in the future if you find out that you need that 5745 for some
Yeah, I
reason.
don't know where I did this with Chris probably or Mike, one of the
Okay.
two. And
Okay.
okay, so Charlie is the other guy that
So
he's in
Charlie wasn't in ShoreTel before, so I just
right. He's
found
the exact same deal.
yeah, so I found just an open extension for him. I think he told me that he moves around, but he's usually in Infinity Allentown, so I just chose a extension for him.
So you've already set the SIP password here to be 123456.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So Charlie and me are the only two that I know of. Actually, no, we're going to have salespeople at Land Rover that are going to be in the same boat where they don't have a desk with a phone on it. They're just going to use this app.
Okay.
Uh,
So even when they're using this app, you're still burning extension and mailbox license in order to connect these people to the ShoreTel. So
right.
just be aware of
Right.
that. So like
Right
with
now,
Charlie, even though he doesn't have a physical phone, he still is using an extension and mailbox license in order to create them.
right. So where do I see the licenses again? We were like right on tilt, if I remember.
So go down to system parameters on the left-hand side. A little too far up. It's right below SIP, site, system parameters, and then go to licenses. There you go. And then requirements. So you are at 116 out of 120 extensions and 111 out of 117 mailboxes, I think.
So we should be able to add a couple more without a problem.
Yeah,
And
so
I think,
if you got 4 salespeople that aren't in the ShoreTel at all, you could add 4 more before you get the license error.
right. And all these users that we're adding that already have a license and an extension in a mailbox, that they don't count when you add them in mobility, right?
They only take up the mobile. You see where it says mobile access license? You got 43 of those, so they would take up
right.
a license from that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, the last thing we need to do in Director before we move over to the mobility router is if you go back to individual users again. And scroll on down to like Mykesha's area again.
Hold on. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Now this secondary extension, the Mykesha _ guider there, 6010. All right. So this is actually her mobility SIP extension, the way Director sees it. There's nothing in here that you can modify or change. This is just all hard program. The only thing you need to do from here is if you scroll back to the top, just highlight the first name, the whole thing, and just copy it because we're going to use that in the mobility router. So highlight the whole thing, including the extension there.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't like my control keys. Oh, well.
Through the remote desktop. Yeah, there you go. And then just copy that. Okay. So that's all you do in Director is you just need to make sure that you allow them the 2 mobile access options there and set their SIP password to something you'll remember. We've been using 123456 just for simplicity.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you just copy that name out. Now this I just made Bennett for you guys.
Right.
Yep, so you can click OK. Cool.
So if I want to change my password quick. Is that on
okay, so go to configuration. and go down to System at the bottom. And okay, go ahead and click Modify. Up, down at the bottom, there's a Modify box. There you go. And then just type in whatever password you want instead. And then you can click Apply. There you
I'm
go.
surprised there's no verification on that. Okay.
No, on that password, you don't have to enter it in, twice to match or anything. Okay, so now to create her in the mobility router, just go ahead and click Add down at the bottom. Okay. The group, just drop that down. Oh, you're actually not going to put her user ID there. You jumped the gun. Okay. So here is where I put the first initial last name, because this is what they're going to use to provision against the app. And again, it appeared that that's case sensitive, so you just have to let her know that that'll be. You could go back and just make it lowercase. And then, actually, hold on. You're still not going to use the name there. So go ahead and get rid of that full name, and you just want to put Mykesha Guider's full name there. So MYK. Actually, all you gotta do is get rid of the underscore there. There you go. In the password, this is where I told you to use Bennett again.
Right, right.
So this is what they'll provision with, is the mguider password Bennett. Now you can click Next. Okay. In the enterprise extension, go ahead and put in her extension, which I think was 6012. You could always pop back over to director if you don't quite remember.
6010.
6010.
It's in that thing that we cut and pasted.
Okay. And do you know, does she have a DID number? If you're not sure, we can pop back into director again real quick and check.
I have no idea.
Click back in director again one more time. And just click the back button on the browser page. Oh, never mind. We're already back to individual users. Let's just find Mykesha again. Her 6010 extension, not the mobility one. Yep. Let's just see.
Yep.
Okay. So you would just want to copy that and paste it in as the full extension, the full enterprise.
I haven't pasted
number.
that other field that I have in the buffer yet. Where does that go?
So under the PBX side security, click Digest and paste it in there. That's where that user ID goes. And then in the password, that's the 123456 SIP password. Okay. Now you can go back and copy that DID and paste it. Then when she calls people from her app, it'll show her DID number. Otherwise, it would just show the main number from whichever PRI she's located at for her home site. There you go. And then you can just click Apply at the bottom. Okay. Then the last thing you want to do is click Monitor at the top next to Configuration.
Did that take?
Uh-huh.
It did?
Yeah. I know it doesn't give you any sort of feel good, like this has been saved or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Now click Users down there towards the bottom left corner. You see calls, users, what have you. Okay. And click Active Users right above the remote users that's highlighted. All right. So here we just wanted to make sure that she did register against the ShoreTel. That's what that PBX registration status is. And she's authorized now to provision. So now she could provision from her Android or iPhone, whatever she has.
Okay.
No Windows phones in case any of your folks have Windows phones or anything like that. It just Droids and iPhones. But that's how you go ahead and create a user.
So,
did you want to create another one while I'm on the line?
Well, I'm looking at Alex's here,
and
I'm a little bit concerned why this is saying cell data and Chris and me have Wi-Fi remote.
because I'm on my phone's on my office Wi-Fi right now. I actually have Chris's phone provisioned on mine. So I'm on my office Wi-Fi. I'm guessing you're probably on your location's Wi-Fi if you
Yeah,
have
when
the
I'm
app
there.
open right now.
I don't,
Um,
but I mean, I can open it quick. And I'm in my office, not there.
Alex, well, I guess we don't really know where Alex is or if he has Wi-Fi turned on his phone. If he doesn't, he's using cell data, so he's using towards, from his data package instead of using Wi-Fi. So he'll,
So
him or
why
any
under
of your users.
so why under service does he only have data versus all?
We'd have to see what he has his options set to on his app. Similar to what I sent you about Scott Flaherty last week, under
Yeah,
preferences and call routing, we'd have to make sure that he has everything turned on there. And then if he's not on Wi-Fi right now, he would be using cell data instead of being on Wi-Fi local if he was at one of the dealerships or remote like you and I at our offices.
because what happened with Scott,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Alex's phone. What happened with Scott was, if I get into my app, there's in the upper right corner, there's the E button,
Uh-huh.
and it shows the connection status. He had enterprise data checked, but not the VoIP, and it wouldn't call a direct. You couldn't do like a 4-digit dial to an extension. It would do an
Okay.
enterprise dial, and I bet that's what Alex has, which is not very good. It's not what we want.
That is settings that need to be adjusted from the app unless they're on the local Wi-Fi there. But if Scott's going to be testing anything on his cell data, or if Alex is only on their cell data, then they need to go into the call routing under preferences and make sure that they turn on their cell data options there in order to make calls. Otherwise, it's not going to process it out correctly.
Hmm. I'm a little bit sketchy on this, Gavin. So you sent me an email.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin. Or was it through this silly support thing? It's probably through support, wasn't it?
No, that's different though, right?
So if I search for routing,
Alright. Give that a second. Give that a second there. What's weird is I'm noticing it says redirecting number to 1559 2110.
trying to look for your email, Gavin.
Is this the one that's in regards to Scott?
Well, it's just in regards to those options they have to turn on their phone.
Again, this is only
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, here it is. For Scott.
Yeah, it's I think I did label it out pretty well in there, but it's under the allowed data networks, it's Wi-Fi and cellular data, and under the audio call routing preferences, it's Wi-Fi, cell data, and cell voice. I don't know that they're going to use video. I'm not sure that you have licenses for video.
No.
But if anybody's going to try to use the app to make phone calls and they're not local on the Wi-Fi or on a remote Wi-Fi, they need to especially make sure the cell data is turned on in order for it to work properly. If they're on the local Wi-Fi, then this link would show that they're on the local Wi-Fi because it would recognize that they're connecting via the 1010.1 voice network. Otherwise, like you and I, since we're not at the sites, we're on our own remote, Wi-Fi networks. That's why we're showing up as Wi-Fi remote.
Okay.
Now, of course, they should always be careful because if they're going to use the phone a lot from a non-Wi-Fi location, they're of course using their cell data, so they don't want to completely obliterate their data package.
Right. All right. So Let me go back.
Hmm.
So here's Joe McAnally is another one. Let me see how much of this I can do by myself here.
Yep, I'm watching.
Try that call one more time. That came outside. Yeah, what's happening is, I'm reading, check your user group. I bet you this trunk is in your user group. Just rip it out. If you just put yourself in a different user group and just test, and that's what's actually happening. So, yeah, and it shouldn't be, but
I wonder what that defaults to. Oh, you said it defaults to blank?
There is no actual default. The software puts it there like there's a default, but there's not actually a default SIP password. Not like the voicemail defaults 1234, the client defaults change me. There's no actual SIP default.
Um, oh, I see. Okay, so here's one that's different, apparently, because he doesn't have a DID number assigned, so he doesn't have. Go ahead.
So since he's associated with the Infinity user group, when he makes a call out, it's going to go out the Infinity PRI and show whatever the billing telephone number for the Infinity PRI is then.
Yeah, what should be this, I hope.
Okay.
So how do I, before I was copying and, where was I getting, whatever her name was, _guider _6010?
You were copying from the DID number there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So what am I going to do here when I get to...
You won't put anything in there. You'll just let the system send the call out and just pull the BTN number from the PRI.
Okay. So there's only one group?
It looks like it was whenever this was first installed, they just figured since well, I guess it should really be Bennett instead of Infinity, but they just built everybody generic as Infinity. The group is just for what am I trying to say? Feature restriction, so that you could restrict certain features from certain groups. Like if you didn't want, one group to be able to use video calls, or if you didn't want one group to be able to provision themselves, or what have you. So there doesn't need to be different groups per site, but if you wanted to segment it a bit, we could quickly rebuild groups for you.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any need. So
okay.
Yeah, I was just.
And that would be Joseph McNally in there.
Yeah, I'm cutting and pasting.
And that would be. I'm just helping you a little bit. I didn't even say the password. Stop myself before I helped you too much. So now you
here,
can just leave the enterprise
blank. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. See, this is actually, I'm going to stop you. Remember we went to the SIP extension that was created in Director and copy and pasted that?
Yeah, right.
So that's what you got to grab is you have to go back to Director and just, there you go.
Oh, I didn't think it was here.
Yep. So if you go to individual users again, it's not right in the user. You're going to have to go back to individual users and find the new SIP extension.
Yeah, right. I can tell this is going to take me a time or two to get this.
You're doing pretty good so far. This is the only, there you go. That's what you copy and paste in for that user ID.
But in general, I should know what it is. It's just the name spelled out with underscores and this extension on it, right? I mean, I could. You guys are cutting and
Yeah,
pasting, but I mean, I should be able to figure this out, right?
you could. It depends on how much typing you want to do. If you don't want to go
Right.
back in the future, then yeah, it's just first name underscore, last name underscore.
Do you think? Oh, it's probably case sensitive, isn't it? Everything.
It
in
will
this
be.
thing, it seems to be. That would be the dangerous part, especially since he's got this MC capital A.
Yep.
Baloney.
And then the password, you put the 12345 6 there, right?
This is Bennett, isn't it?
No.
Or no?
This one's the SIP password. So that's the 1 through 6.
Well, they could say SIP in front of this.
I know. Well, think of it as PBX side security as that's your SIP connection,
Yeah,
whereas
right.
under general, that's what you're telling users to do to provision.
This is pretty. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can click monitor, and we'll just make sure that so there's McNally registered, authorized. So he's an our gentleman that should now be ready to
So if I
download
screwed
the
it,
app and try to.
so if I screwed this up, would it say like not registered or something, or would it?
Correct.
tell me?
Like if you put in the wrong user ID or the wrong SIP password, it would I forget if it says it would say not authorized, and then I forget if it says unregistered or not registered. But yeah, it would give you an error here instead.
Okay. I'm not really feeling. I am recording this. I wonder if I should just stop now and then throw this up on YouTube so I can just go back at it. I think we've got both cases covered, right? One case is with a DID and one case is without a DID.
Correct.
So why don't we just stop here,
Okay.
and I'll load this up on YouTube. I should be able to play through it. And
Okay.
the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is, like I said, making sure this really works right. I'll see Alex in the morning, and I'll create all the other users now.
Yeah, when you
And,
see Alex tomorrow, check his, grab his phone or let him show you his phone. Make sure that he's using your Bennett Wi-Fi off of whichever
he doesn't.
location
He
you're-
tends not to do it. So
Oh, well, he's
unlimited
okay.
data is coming back. So hopefully,
Yeah,
he
I
has
mean, at that point it wouldn't matter. But if he does have a data plan, I know they're pretty good. I mean, you're not using a ton of data. I'm sure he's not having long phone calls or anything. But just something to be aware of. I don't want him to complain that he got a couple $100 phone bill because he's using the ShoreTel app so much. But he should try to use Wi-Fi while he's local there.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, if you create the rest of the users, give me a holler tomorrow if you have any problems or any questions from Alex, and then I'll help you out.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Gavin.
You're welcome, Ben. Take
All
care.
right, see you. Yeah, bye.
Bye.